Alrighty, ladies. You ready? You ready?
We ready?
What time is it? Ask
Ask
your
your
All right, who wants to read it this week?
I got it.
You got it?
You want? You
Oh, yeah,
sure?
you're the guest. You're the guest.
Yeah.
Come on, boo boo.
Okay. All right. Hey,
You need your
aunties,
glasses on?
Don't do it. Yes, I do.
You sure do.
I knew they were on the side, so.
Yeah, they were. But in all seriousness, so hey, aunties, I'm 55 and had ED ever since my testicular cancer treatment/surgery. My question is, at what point should I tell my prospective partners I don't always get an erection? I'm a bottom, which normally comes up early in the conversation, especially meeting up on one of the apps.
I just want to clarify, ED, erectile dysfunction?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, whenever you're comfortable, I guess. Like a lot of times, I feel like we gotta say shit before we're ready in a
Or
conversation.
be on a timetable, or be on a
Right.
timetable for sharing that information.
And I get it on the apps. Like a lot of times, the apps are for hooking up and things like that. So, I mean, excuse me, sorry. If you're comfortable enough, maybe even put that in your profile to just put it out there so it's not you feeling awkward every single time. And I don't get the feeling that you feel awkward, but you just know it's going to be a potential question or a potential issue maybe for the other folks. Cancer's a real thing. I mean, and it's impacted a lot of families and a lot of folks. So you might get more empathy and sympathy more than anything, and people realize what it is. Being a bottom, maybe it doesn't come up as often, and get your back blown out, girl, and keep on going.
Get those guts rearranged.
I'm just saying. So I mean, I don't know if there's a certain point. I think my recommendation is if you're comfortable with yourself, which it kind of comes across that you are, maybe put it in your profile. If that's not what you want to do, I would say if they're trying to top you, it may be earlier in the conversation, because if they're maybe like a total top, a lot of times total tops ain't looking at nobody's dick no way, and they just trying to rearrange guts like Landon said. But I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm providing that good of an answer, because I just feel like it should be on your timetable and your comfortability and not anyone else's. And so that's my bottom line of it. As long as you're comfortable with the situation, don't let anyone make you feel less than.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you to therapy. That's gonna be my advice, to have you talk to someone about it.
Yeah.
One, because being a survivor of cancer carries a certain emotional baggage and emotional journal and weight that comes from it that a lot of people can't begin to understand. So I'm not going to give you necessarily advice. I'm going to just point out a couple of things. One, I think therapy would be a helpful way to make sure that you're unpacking, what your cancer journey has been for you. Okay. Two, I think you're also going to need to unpack how that's going to affect you in the queer community, because the truth of the fact is, and it's the reality, there's two sides to every coin. There are some of us that are accepting, and there are some of us that are judgy.
Yeah.
I would not encourage you to put that in your profile, because it is a hookup site, and people tend to be way more judgy behind a device online and social media than they do to tend to be in person. So I would refrain from doing that, because at the end of the day, it's not like you're giving someone anything or anything like that. You're talking about literally being a survivor of cancer. Okay. On top of that, you also want to be careful of using that your experiences to also possibly guilt people. So again, that's what I'm talking about. Send you to therapy to unpack all that to begin with. Okay. The other thing another reason why I would send you to therapy, because I'm also curious, because you didn't mention here, what was some of the experiences that you've dealt with so far that have made you want to even have to ask this question? Because I don't know. So I would be curious to be like, well, how are people treating you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how is that affecting you, and why is that affecting you? So I'm going to honestly say, I don't think there is a timetable. I don't think you should disclose that beforehand. But I think before you can get comfortable to being in a place where you can, there might be some things you want to unpack first. Because at the end of the day, you disclosing this should never be dictated by someone else and how they feel. It is your information, it is your journey, it is your life, and it is your story. And it is up to you to decide when you do or you do not tell that story. And if you are doing it in the hopes of trying to get someone else to do something, I don't think that's for the right reasons. So I'm going to say go to therapy to truly get the answer that is the most healthiest for you.
What do you think,
But
Landon?
I'm right there with Jarrell. There are more ways than one parentheses erection parentheses to show that you are into someone or attracted to someone or that you are turned on. It doesn't that yeah, an erection might be the number one thing that we think of, but in the long run, how you invest emotion, because let's keep it real, in intercourse, in making love, whatever the moment calls for, your emotion and how you carry that out also comes through and can also be attractive. How you kiss, how you nibble on someone's ear, all of the things that you do outside of having an erection show that you are turned on and interested in the person that you are with in the moment, whether it be a one-time partner or a multiple or long-term partner. So don't I agree with Jarrell. I would add on that don't equate being turned on, attracted to those things, that when it comes to like those things are important. Yeah, like it's great. Like you want to show that off, but it's not just an erection that shows that.
Right.
And when it comes down to at the end of the day, like if you want to share that, especially like sexual health is more than just a condition, a blood condition, HIV, et cetera, et cetera. Sexual health includes this, and being upfront and honest about sexual health, which includes maybe a STD or a physical function such as ED. That's a part of sexual health and being honest and being aware that it's a reality and not trying to hide it. You got to be honest with yourself. Not hiding it is a part of this journey, and you have to decide if you want to share that or not.
And go to your doctor. Like, so they're gonna know if you're a good candidate for a Cialis, a Viagra, a Levitra, things like that. Especially since a testicular cancer treatment surgery, this is their job. They see this, they know what maybe the side effects will occur after such treatment and surgery. So just to see if you're even a good candidate from jump of, okay, maybe the Cialis will help you a little more, or the Viagra, whatever it may be. Medicine has gotten pretty good nowadays for ED specifically, but I don't know the full treatment and surgery, and maybe it's not a good candidate. But I would definitely have that conversation with your doctor as well, because they're going to be able to lead you down a path. Because there's even pumps now and things like that that could have surgery to inflate your penis for you, if that's important to you. If showing an erection is important to you. But like, I agree with Landon in that regard, that there's way many other ways to show that you're interested and turned on in the moment.
Also keep in mind that I think we're also beholden to the expectations within the gay community of certain things, and having an erection during sex is not necessarily like the sole indicator. Like I said before, like it's not the sole indicator that you are turned on by someone. That the way that you respond to maybe someone kissing you or hitting your G-spot or whatever that is, the way that you respond to certain stimuli, if you will, also can be a way of showing that you are turned on. So, we're not sex therapists. We're not therapists. I know you asked for advice, and, we just are giving our personal perspectives. But at the end of the day, I agree with Jarrell in seeking out a therapist, a sexual therapist that will help you make the right decision that is right for you based upon your ability to talk about it with a professional.
Absolutely, absolutely. But thank you for being vulnerable enough
Yeah.
to share this with us. Because sometimes these things, especially ED, for some reason, even though we've all had moments where it might not work the way you think it should have worked in the moment, it's such a normal thing as people. So
Yeah.
thanks for sending again. Continue to send your Ask Your Aunties to aya@minorietyreport.com or
Yeah.
DM us.
One thing it hit me, you know, when he started, he or she, I'll say he, and kind of they thank you, just starting off with stating their age, and it helps me understand as a guest auntie of understanding the range of the demographic that we have listening to the podcast. We have someone, this is not a millennial that's just listening to us be crazy up on this piece, you know? So it's good to know that there are individuals out there from all age ranges, from maybe the person who's in the closet and living in their parents' house in the South, like we were talking about earlier, in college, to someone who is vulnerable enough to share a lot of personal information. I was like, thank you for just putting that stuff out there, putting yourself out there, and just being honest about, you know, what you want to talk about. So
and get that back blown out.
Girl, get them guts rearranged, honey.